Angel, it's great to talk to you again, man. Last time
Yeah.
we talked, the world had not yet seen Blue Beetle. Now that the fans have had a chance to appreciate the movie, how are you feeling?
Oh man, I'm feeling good. How are you? How are you?
I'm
It's
good,
good
dude.
to
Look
see
at
you
this.
again,
I
man.
already got it on Blu-ray.
What?
Come on.
Oh man, come on.
Dude, obviously this movie released at such an interesting time because the cast couldn't come out and share their
Yeah.
excitement, their passion, and their experiences for the past few months since the movie released. So I'd love to hear, what have you guys done? What have you guys, I know you guys are a family on this Blue Beetle team. What have you done with the cast? How have you guys kind of celebrated on your own to share the experience with the fans and everything in the ways that you've been able to?
We did sneak up on some screenings, and have a little bit of a celebration also in some friends' house. Um, I know that although while I was doing some of the travelings, I was able to surprise Belisa Escobedo in her. She works at a coffee shop in Brooklyn, so we were able to go there and take her out and just like have fun. Also, that same trip, I ran into Bruna, so I took Bruna to see the big billboard in Times Square, and have all her emotions get spilled in the ground. And with Sholo, we hung out all the time. We have become family, and with George as well. With George, we it was fun with George. With George, we ended up going to his stand-up show, and it was amazing going to see that man perform and see a little bit of Rudy up there, with him. He was phenomenal, and going to soccer matches with Cholo has been one of the highlights of this moment as well. But I think at the end of the day, being able to just pop in, surprise fans, and see how much it means to them to see
Dude,
themselves represented like this, and what this could mean for the future of characters like this to keep going in cinema. It's very humbling.
I mean, it's there are so few characters representing, Latino culture in the superhero world. You guys are the first ones to get a chance to do this, and the movie is so good. It's so much fun. It's so authentic. What are other characters you think, are there any in mind that you think could really be fun to see get a chance to shine like this?
um you mean around the comic book world?
In anything. I mean, the comic book world, yeah, like I go to Sam Alexander with Nova. I think of that guy, and stuff
Yeah,
like that. But I mean, are there characters anyway that you think deserve a kind of a chance to get this platform?
man, I keep saying it. I know I said it before. uh I think Bane's story is something that I cannot wait to see, his origin story.
Mm-hmm.
um Before anything Batman. Like his origin story is, I think, has an opportunity to like create a momentum and an impact that we might understand, but we have never seen being told through this genre. And I think that for me has always been a fun one, but also like it's a serious one. But I think it's fun. But you know which one? And for me, it's not like I know, because I know what they did on the animation is phenomenal. But the Miles Morales for me is something, and I know this is not DC, but
It's okay.
uh Miles Morales, and his Puerto Rican background, and they did a good job on the animation, but seeing it happen in live action could be special.
That does feel inevitable at some point. But Bane, man, one day I want to see that story, dude.
Bane for me
They,
is, I've
dude.
said it before, I keep saying it there, just throw it out to the universe. If it happens, and so be it. But Bane's origin is insane.
Yeah, dude, man. Well, it's good. I mean, hopefully under James and this new DC universe, we get there. We get it one way or another. We get there, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, in this, we started by talking about you guys being a family. The family in the movie, the characters as a family really drove this one. And you broke my heart when you killed off Papa Reyes. But earlier in the film, I swore you were going to kill off George Lopez's Rudy in that car chase sequence. I was like, no, 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 don't do it right here. So I want to. Did you ever consider that? And how did you kind of really convince us that was that the stakes were real? We could lose a key character right there midway through the film.
Right off the bat, we tried to not do that. That was our first instinct. Was like, do we have to, right? Do we have to kill somebody and do the lowest of lows, right? And it was Walt Hamada who kind of like pushed us to entertain the idea of what if we lose, Papa Reyes. Um, and for us, after giving it some thought, it started to make sense, because it's not just the physical manifestation of that departure. It's also what he is the attack on what he represents, which is hope, which is resilience, which is everything that has made this family be who they are today or who they are in the movie. He has been that rock, animal, where the red is like, even though he has had a ton of hardships in his life, even though he's had to cross the border twice. The fact that, and he's losing the house, but he still has this optimism. And usually that optimism is the thing that often is being tried to get destroyed in our lives. So that we succumb to the pessimism and then we're slaves to it. And for us, it was very important to show that it doesn't matter how much they try to destroy the hope that still lives with you. Part of the spirituality that we shared in our families and in a lot of the actors' families is like, our ancestors are around us to guide us. They don't just die and disappear and let us stranded. And so even though that does happen, it does shows that the legacy of Alberto Reyes lived even post-mortem within the rest of the Reyes family. And that's their strength. And that's why that cosmic realm, that magic realism was played in a way that felt like we're part of a bigger cosmic relationship.
When you're talking about cosmic relationships, we talking about the Reach one day? Are you thinking about going to the origins of the scarab?
100. I mean, we did an impressionistic approach in the title sequence, but for us, we want to. I want to let Kaji tell its story, and be able to show us, because at the end of the day, the Reach and having that moment of now Jaime helps Kaji take over the Reach and liberate all the scarabs from the imperial yoke of that colonizing race. It's also the Latino story.
Dude, and the ideas, man, I know you have ideas. I hope we get to see them. I mean, James Gunn finally said like Xolo's going to continue as Blue Beetle going forward. I'd love to hear about when you first learned that was finally, because when the movie came out, we didn't know for sure. And then now it's finally like, okay, Xolo's going to continue as Blue Beetle.
He had mentioned before the movie came out that like Blue Beetle is the first superhero of his universe, but Superman Legacy is the first, like, whatever. But it was very reassuring to know that it's not just the character of Blue Beetle, it's Xolo being Blue Beetle, which means that what we have learned up to this point about his background and his family are part of Jaime Reyes' character. And that is a beautiful thing to see, because it's a vote of confidence that what we did, the impact that it did, and how it was shown, whatever they end up doing in the bigger scheme of the DCU, you can always go back to Blue Beetle to know what are the foundations of Jaime Reyes.
Exactly, man. And did you feel like it kind of put you guys in a weird place releasing a movie right like so shortly after they said, well, we are rebooting, this could continue, it could not? Like, I mean, that's such a weird experience for a filmmaker, because you don't really I've never really heard of something like that before.
Nah, neither have I heard of of a movie that has survived 3 regime changes. But for me, at the end of the day, sure. I mean, it's unfortunate, but not being attached to the outcome, I think, helps in creating art. It's you do what you have to do. If it will be different if I had control over the studio, but I don't. So you can only control the things that you can control, and the ones that you can, you just have to leave it to fate in a way. But that doesn't mean that you're not going to give you 100%. Like, we knew the place we were, and we knew the story we wanted to tell. And for us, telling the story the way we wanted to tell it is way more important than the limbo that we could have ended up in.
Nice, man. Well, dude, you guys survived it. I'm so glad you did. I'm gonna go watch this again and again.
Yeah,
and I need you to hang up these
there's a
interviews
lot
and
of
go
layers.
get started. Go get started on Blue Beetle 2 for me, all right?
Yo, the writer and we already have a plan, so it's up to the higher ups to let us play with it.
Well, I'm rooting for you, man. Thank you so much for the
I
time.
appreciate
Congratulations, and I hope to talk to you again soon, dude.
Good to see you again, man.